So I wanted to do a quick breakdown of today's price action following the FOMC release and what I'm expecting moving forward. And I'll also cover a couple trades that I took today. I took one loss pre-market and then I took one win using half the risk to make back some of that loss from the original trade. So starting off, obviously looking at this chart on Wednesday, we had a huge move lower as the result of FOMC. And this is exactly actually what I wanted to see if we're going to see a continuation of higher prices. And I want to break that down as to exactly why this is good for longs. If I go to right here, I want to start off on the higher time frame. So this is NQ. This is the micro contract for the March 2025 contract because we just had rollover today. So with this huge move lower, it was sparked by a sweep of this little 1 hour swing high right here, displacement lower, and then return into this 1 hour civvy, and then a huge move lower. If we take a look right here, this is our weekly open, and I have it labeled here on the right hand side. We traded higher, left a bunch of equal highs above here, and then had a huge move lower. So if we're going to be long the remainder of the week or even, just a steady run higher for like a seasonal tendency, um, I want to see a move higher from where we're at now. And I want to talk about why I'm looking at that. If we go to the weekly time frame right here, you can see this is our weekly open and we're looking at this candle right here. We opened, we swept the previous week high right here, and then we moved lower. We moved lower into a couple really key areas. We moved into the weekly BISI right here, and then this order block is paired up really nicely with it right at the midpoint of that weekly BISI. So if we're looking for longer, or if I'm looking for higher prices, I want to see it happen from this area. And this isn't, we haven't seen a move lower like this in quite a long time, right? The last 4 weeks have been pretty steady higher prices, and we're finally seeing a really nice move lower right here. So not only is it moving into these areas, these weekly PD arrays, but if we take a fib from this swing low right here up until this swing high, we're also reaching into discount. So a lot of different things aligning right there already on the weekly time frame. Um, all those PD arrays in discount. Now, if I go down to the daily time frame right here, we start to see a couple more things. We see this swing high right here is actually a part of the weekly BISI high. So this is a really important swing, or I think I said swing high. Excuse me, I meant swing low. This swing low is a part of this weekly BISI high right there. So not only are we diving lower into that weekly BISI, but we're taking out trailed sell stops that were moved along the way on this move higher from people who have been profitable from taking longs. So people who are long anywhere from down here or even down here up until this point right here, they're moving their stops along the way. So I like to see that happen where it could be kind of like a turtle soup scenario where you want to see a run on stops before the move higher. If we take another fib from this swing low and we're looking at this impulse leg higher right here, we're in discount, but I also want to take out my OTE levels right here. When I have a bunch of different PD arrays in alignment with each other, what I want to see and what makes them a little bit more trustworthy for me is they're in alignment with OTE as well. So from this swing low to this swing high, obviously we're trading within the discount and OTE levels at this point, and they're all in alignment with the weekly BISI and weekly order block right here. So that's something that I really like to see as well. Um, if we're combining weekly profiles with it, we open right here on Monday, traded higher, and now I want to see this treated as a Judas swing lower. So people have been trying to short the market at all-time highs for a long time now. I think it's just a normal human characteristic of traders wanting to do that. They want to try and catch the top. And when a move like this happens, if we go down to the hourly time frame, when a move like this happens, in my mind, people are thinking that the market has finally shifted. And this is how I build narrative around my trades and just the overall bias and direction of the market and what I'm looking for is with people who have been trying to short, and getting killed over and over again, they finally see this move from FOMC and they're thinking, okay, the market has shifted and we're looking to see that sell off happen now. All these different things happening around the world um, that you would think would send the market lower. Now it's finally happening. That's what I think a lot of people are thinking. That gives me all the more reason to think that we should see continued um, price higher. So if we go back to the daily time frame right here, of course, another way that I can get some more confirmation is if I head over to ES right here. This low on ES is paired with this low on NQ right here. And we have SMT at those lows. So SMT happening at midpoint of the week after a big move lower into all of these arrays right here. What I want to see is a move higher. Now, I think that with it being such a large range day and the day after FOMC, I'm talking about Thursday, this upcoming day right here, and that would be on December 19th. I think the morning session would definitely be a little bit tricky. Um, I think the better trading will come after 11:30 a.m. and on into the day and into the week. But again, what I want to see is a move higher from these levels. And it doesn't have to happen right now. Like this low doesn't have to stay intact. We could see another sweep of that low and then higher, or we could even move a little bit lower into this area right here because we have a order block and daily BISI and things like that. But just overall in this general area with all of these things in alignment, this is where I think we could see higher prices. What would cancel this out for me? And I would switch to potentially longer term bearishness or intermediate term bearishness is if we look at this order block right here on the weekly time frame. If I draw a fib from the high to the low and get the midpoint of that, if we get a weekly close below this, I would expect price to take out levels like this, and like this. And why do I say that? Is because after we close below this, we really don't have any bullish PD arrays here, right? So I think that would call for a continued move lower, but that's not what I'm looking for right now. Like I've said 100 times, I want to see price continue higher here. So in all honesty, I think this is really good for longs. Um, but I want to cover a couple trades that I took today. They were both longs. If I go down to we can go down to the 5-minute time frame here. And I move up into this level right here. We had a daily BISI, and I'll mark that out just really quick right here with this line right there. This is a daily BISI right here. This is what I was looking at, okay? Make it nice and big. Daily BISI right here. If we are going to continue higher, I want to see a bump into this daily BISI and continue higher. If I go down to the 5-minute time frame here, what we ended up getting was a move lower from overnight into that level and steady continuation higher. What I liked was we had a sweep of this and an impulse higher from that level, creating a bunch of lows on the way. So this is suspect to me right here. And this was very obvious. This 5-minute fair value gap, it was combined with this order block right here, this 5-minute order block. You could use this or you could use this. These two consecutive down close candles. I use this because I think this is the correct one. But I went long from here because we also had OTE paired with it. So from this low up until this high, and I take out 62%. all of these levels are right in alignment right here. So, uh, I mean, you've seen me use this in pretty much every video by now, and obviously nothing is 100% in the market, so you have to be right about your direction, and I was not right about the direction here, which is okay. I took this loss, uh, entry right here, stop loss below here, and take profit above this high, relative equal right here. I think it was a really great setup, and when I see something like this, I'm licking my chops, and I want to definitely take advantage of that. Um, so I entered here, hit stop loss pretty quickly, and uh, sat on the sidelines until New York Open, which happened right here, delineated by this vertical line right here. New York opened, and if we go down to a 1 minute time frame right here, what we ended up getting was this fair value gap right here. This is a 1 minute SIBI, and it's the first fair value gap of the day. And if you have watched ICT's 2024 mentorship, the first fair value gap of the day has a lot of meaning. And if I was bullish, and what gave me more reason to be bullish was these equal highs right here. And it was resting right below this imbalance right here. So whenever I see an imbalance like that, resting right above equal highs, it's like rocket fuel to get to here, right? So that's a huge draw on liquidity for me. So all I needed to see was after a move open or a move lower following New York Open, I wanted to see price start to show signs of wanting to go higher. And we got that after we went into this daily BISI right here. Um, we began trading higher. The first thing I saw was price began to respect this level right here. So I start to see bullish fair value gaps get respected, right? And order blocks and things like that. Once I start to see that happen, and then we get a move above the first fair value gap after spending a lot of time in here, I want to see it used as inversion to target higher prices. What made it even more enticing for me was if we take a look at this high right here and this low, I wanted to go long from the high of this first fair value gap, treating it as inversion. What we did was we took out the high, engaged buy side, and then following that, we took out the low right here. So buy side first, sell side second, into the first fair value gap right here, and then we had a nice low resistance liquidity run up until this level right here. And the fair value gap itself actually got hit right here, and that's where I got my limit order hit. So I used half of my initial risk from the first trade that I took. So I risked about 500 on the first trade. And it was actually less than, I think I risked like 180 or so on this next trade right here. If I get my top step pulled up right here. I only risked 3 micros, and it was a short move from this low. You can see that first fair value gap right here that I said I got entered at. That's exactly where I got 2725 or 276.25. So right around there, and then I exited at this fair value gap right here. So overall, I was happy with the day. A little update on the account. Um, the winning streak finally ended. Break even, win, 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 and then one loss, then made some of that loss back. So I was really happy with my performance today. Didn't overtrade or anything like that. I kept it to 2 trades. Didn't get greedy and try to make it all back or hit a home run or anything like that. I knew that I could potentially be wrong, and I wanted to limit my losses as much as I could because that second trade that I took, I could have easily lost that as well, and it would have been like a $700 loss on the day, or like $1,000 loss if I didn't limit or if I didn't lower my risk like I did. So I'm always just thinking about how much I'm exposing myself and how I can protect myself as much as possible. So that is really the breakdown on today and what I am expecting moving forward. So I hope that was clear and I hope you guys found it helpful. Hope you have a good rest of your day and I will talk to you soon.